Shalom. All right, I'm the brother Kwame Shalom from Great Millstone, St. Petersburg, Florida. All right, the camp out here in St. Pete. All right, now pretty much through the spirit, first and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, RECHA KODASH, Dwada YAHWASHI, YAHWASHI for the spirit and truth. All right, as always, double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. All right, who rule well and taught me this truth through the spirit and power of YAHWASHI, YAHWASHI, Bakatham. All right, and Shalom. All right, now salutations to the Zakwane while I came across four corners of the earth that's teaching this truth in sincerity, faith, and in honesty. All right, Shalom, AHBAD, which is peace and love to the Lord's elect of Israel, which consistently so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. All right, I'm the brother Kwame Shalom from Great Millstone, St. Petersburg, 4. All right, now pretty much through the spirit, man. You know, I was just amped up, you know, and pretty much going in on, I see a lot of brothers going in on how so-called white man Esau Edom, all right, is the biggest terrorist, all right, which the scriptures, all right, the scriptures tell you that the so-called white man Esau Edom, all right, and though favor be shown unto him, all right, yet he will not learn, all right, which I'm gonna go ahead and read that real quick, you know, because, and this is spirit too, because I was meditating on Lamentations, the 4th chapter, which we always bring this precept out. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. And as I was watching the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, the brother had brought the precept out, and I'm like, man, damn, bro, it's crazy, you know. But it's really just a spirit, because that's the energy, all right, that we're pushing, all right, here primarily in Great Millstone, all right, of the accomplishment, all right, of our iniquity, man, all right. Most High YAHWASHI has chastened us and stricken us enough, all right, and that's written about, man, all right. Now we are just living it out, but it's already done, right? The Lord put spirit on certain men to actually be able to go through these certain things and we're about to face physically, but because spiritually we already got the victory, man, all right. Okay, so when you read in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, starting around verse 17 through 19, where it says, the Most High will begin to visit the earth and make inquisition, all right, of them that have hurt unjustly, all right. Well, that's YAHWASHI, YAHWASHI, all right, making spiritual investment on these kings and rulers of the planet Earth, man. All right, the so-called Esau Edom knows that, man. All right, this is Isaiah. I think it's 26 and 10, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, this is Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of YAHWASHI, YAHWASHI. Scripture say, let favor be showed unto the wicked, and he will not learn, and he will not deal unjustly. He will not deal justly, man. All right. But what? He will deal unrighteously, man. And that's the characteristics of the so-called white man Esau Edom. All right, here it is. You know, he swore on the Bible. You know. All right. He professed himself. All right. On your back of the license tag, on the back of your tag, you know, you got in God we trust. On your dollar bill, in God we trust. All right, but what power? Because the scriptures tell you, all right, in the book of 2nd Ezra, I think 2nd Ezra 7, yep, 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 19. And he said unto me, there is no judge above YAHWAH BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, and none that have understanding above the highest, right? So there is no judge above YAHWAH YAHWASHI, and none have understanding above the highest. Who is the Most High? The Most High is YAHWASHI, YAHWASHI. All right, how do YAHWASHI, YAHWASHI look, man? All right, according to the scriptures, his appearance. All right, the scriptures give you a depiction of him and his people, man. All right, we are bold in the faith, all right, because we believe in these things, man. All right, because it's evident. Scriptures say in the book of Romans, all right, Shalom, YAHWASHI, Bakatham. All right, the scriptures say in the book of Romans, all right, the spirit of the prophets is subject to prophesy, man. All right, Shalom, YAHWASHI, Bakatham. All right, and so we have that truth. We have the understanding that this is the truth. You know, the men of the Lord don't need The men of the Lord don't need a depiction, or we don't need your stories, man. All right, if it's contrary to the scriptures, we're gonna condemn it, man. All right, because at the end of the day, all right, this is a spiritual movement of YAHAWASHI through the peer influence, man. All right, of spreading forth righteousness on the planet Earth, man. And this is why you have the elders of Great Millstone and a man under them, all right, constantly putting up videos. This is a beautiful thing here, man. All right, to actually be standing up for righteousness' sake, man. All right, condemning the so-called white man, Esau Edom, for being the devil that the Bible speaks of. Which leads me basically into why I wanted to do a video, because YAHAWASHI is making that inquisition, man. All right, there was a time where you had Jake trying to stand up and go against his oppressor, but he would do it in all the wrong ways, man. Jake would use his carnal intentions, or he would try to establish himself financially, all right, and build up his economy and his community, all right, based off of the Federal Reserve note, man. Well, see, this spiritual movement, all right, is not based off of a Federal Reserve note, all right. This is the words of YAHAWASHI that's breaking down strongholds and that's raising up the house of David, which consists of 144,000, and the 1/3 was consists of men, women, and children. This is the spiritual movement of YAHAWASHI, and the scriptures tell you that in the book of Acts. This was of men who would come to naught. This is of YAHAWASHI, man. All right, for man to be raised up, all right, across the four corners of the earth, from being watchmen, okay, prophesying, all right, telling you people day in and day out, man, okay, warning and comforting our people, man. All right, we're giving you a warning and we're comforting our people at the same time. All right, that's being an overseer of the flock, man. All right. So now to get off topic, let's go ahead and jump into Job chapter. I want to bring this out real quick. Job chapter 12. I'm gonna start at verse 9. Who knoweth not in all these things that the hand of Yahweh by YAHAWASHI hath wrought this, and whose hand is the soul of every living thing, in the breath of all mankind. Right, so in whose hand is the soul? I'm going to read that again. Job chapter 12, verse 10. In whose hand is the soul? And that word for soul in the 1611 is life. All right, in whose hand is the life of every living thing, in the breath of all mankind. And what's the beginning of knowledge, man? What's the whole duty of man? To fear the Most High, man. All right, and that's the first step to being acknowledged. All right, and that's the first step to being received. All right, of YAHAWASHI is actually acknowledging Him by fearing Him, man. By fearing the power that actually put you here on the planet Earth, man, and actually predestined you to be where you are, man. All right, whether it's on the left hand or on the right hand side, man. So whether you were a Gentile, all right, or whether you were Israelite, man, the Lord, your life is in the hands of YAHAWASHI, man, the Heavenly Father, man. All right, and to know that the prophets is here, I once heard one of the apostles say that the most important people here on the planet Earth is the prophets, man. All right, right now, and that's the spirit, because the Lord said He sent forth His apostles last, man. All right, and that's the spirit. I was watching the brothers out there in ancient days. All right, Malcolm X. You already done had Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. You done had your Black Panthers. Or you done had all these so-called great movements or whatnot. But now you got the prophets here, man. Now you have the men of the Lord that's standing up, and everybody hate Great Millstone, man. It's not coincidental. And it's not just Great Millstone, man. It's just everybody just hate the truth. Everybody just hate the true doctrine. Right? Because Men of Valor and DTA, you Akim that is not a part of, affiliated with a camp that's teaching the truth. All right, you hate it, man. All right, so it's not about a camp. It's just about the doctrine of YAHAWASHI, and that started with Great Millstone here, man. In these times, all right. Okay, so the most important thing here on the planet Earth is a prophet, man. All right, because that's your spiritual. That's the pure influence of YAHAWASHI to you people here, man. Okay. So before I go into this Job, all right, I wanted to bring that out because that's the problem with the so-called white man Esau Edom. All right, he doesn't believe All right, so-called white man Esau Edom doesn't believe that. He really finds it in his mind that he can upset prophecy, man. All right, and the Lord and the Most High is so beautiful that He actually given this man time to get his military and to get his arsenal right, so that he can fight a power that he cannot see, man. You know, and it's just a beautiful thing for YAHAWASHI to keep the Lord's will. Be one of those men, you know, to put the Spirit on us to actually be professing the things that's getting ready to come here to the planet Earth, and you damn Edomites, man. All right, because the Lord getting ready to jack you up, man. And it's like, it's plain to us because we fear. And the scriptures say He was scared, and yet there's fight. But you damn Edomites so proud that you actually think that you're going to upset prophecy. So it's just a beautiful judgment from YAHAWASHI to actually set you up last, man. You know, it's beautiful, all right? Because, you know, you couldn't have no other nation that's more prouder than you damn bases of men, man. You know, you damn Edomites, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. All right? Because it's a balance, all right? Because Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is going to be that beginning of it, man. All right? Job chapter 15, verse 17. I will show thee, hear me, and that which I have seen I will declare, which wise men have told from their fathers, and have not hidden, unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. Damn, so the number of his years is hidden, man. Hey, and that go back to Job 14 chapter, you know. The Most High have set a bound where Esau cannot pass. All right? Right, and it's so spiritual, man, because, you know, you look at all the kingdoms, all right, and when we read scriptures, it don't give you a day-to-day thing that happened. It just give you the straight hardcore, man, how the Heavenly Father will raise that nation up and how He will utterly destroy it, man. And that's what's going on here in America with Babylon the Great. The scriptures say, sit thou in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. There is no throne. America is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. All right, these are the things that were written about, all right, that's going to happen, man. All right, so it don't matter how long it took America to be built. It don't matter what they trying to make, the newest shit popping off, the new trend. This place is still going to be destroyed in 1 hour, man. You know, and that just go to show you the power of YAHAWASHI, right? Who's in control of all things, man. The omnipotent power, man. Right? The will in everything, man. Right? The dominance, right? The dominant power over all flesh, man. In all spirits, man. You know, scripture, He's the Father of spirits, you know. So it says, Job 15, verse 20. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. A dreadful sound is in his ears. That word there for dreadful in Hebrew says a sound of fears. Right, a dreadful sound is in his ears. You know, the so-called white man, all right, Esau, Edom, all right, a dreadful sound is in his ear. And what is that dreadful sound? That dreadful sound is being, it's drinking of that cup, being in captivity. All right, that's a dreadful sound for the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. You tell these Edomites they go into slavery, or you telling the things that they have done to us and our forefathers, we paying the consequences of it, so they got to drink of that cup. All right, prepare slaughter for their children, for the iniquity of their fathers. You know, they look at you and they listen to that and they say, man, you guys is bugged out, right? You know, what about forgiveness? That these things happen, but what about now? You know, no, man. The Lord said He required that which passed, man, and that which is present, and that to come, roughly the same, in the book of Ecclesiastes, man. All right, so let's get this real quick, because it said a dreadful sound is in the so-called white man Esau Edom's ear, right? So this is Psalms chapter 94, verse 6. It says, I'm going to start verse 5. They break in pieces thy people, O YAHAWASHI, and afflict thine heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger, and murder the fatherless. Yet they say, YAHAWASHI shall not see, neither shall the God of Jacob regard it. Understand, ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, When will ye be wise? He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? Hey, and that's beautiful, man. The Lord said, he that planted the ear, shall he not hear, man. All right. He that planted the eye, shall he not see? All right. So the Lord, YAHAWASHI gave us, because the scripture say in the book of Daniel, seal up the book until the time of the end. The Lord gave us understanding of the times we're living in, all right, to go into the scriptures and actually understand the heart and the intent of the so-called white man Esau Edom, man, and how that he is afraid, all right, of losing his power and his rulership over you Israelites, man, all right. A dreadful sound, all right, is in his ear, all right, of what? Him being held off in captive, in Revelations 13 and 9 and 10 being in effect, man. All right, Jeremiah 30 and 16 being in effect, man. Jeremiah 51 and 20. The list go on and on, man. All right, of him being on the bottom, because the scriptures tell you, I have seen servants upon the ground. I have seen princes upon the ground as servants, and servants upon horses, man. All right, so the greatest fear for the so-called white man is for him to actually be at the bottom of, and be at the bottom, all right, of you Jakes, man. He fears that, man. And guess what? He know that he's coming into that time, right? With more chariot sightings, man. More camps, brothers waking up, man. All right, this truth is flourishing, all right. Okay, and everything. More people are becoming spiritual in the nation of Israel. All right, starting with primarily the elect. The elect is getting truth, man. That's really what it is. All right, and now you know that he has to make his move, man. All right, but as the scriptures say, when he make his move, the Lord gonna make his move, man. All right, because it's a balance with YAHAWASHI. The scriptures say, gather my saints together who have made a covenant with me by sacrifice, man. All right, so this is the gathering of the Lord. You know, this is the counsel of YAHAWASHI. And the so-called white man, that's a dreadful sound in his ear, man. But the Lord said, I will make them up in order before thy eyes, man. All right, and thy eyes shall see thy teachers. You know, the scriptures say that too. All right. Job 15, verse 21. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. Damn, scripture say in prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. Who is the destroyer, man? All right, because here it is, a so-called white man, Esau Edom. He's the biggest terror on the planet Earth. But then when you read Job 18, all right, when you read Job 18 in verse Job 18 and 14, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. You see that? So what? The so-called white man, Esau Edom, right, he's being made up and he's being brought up to meet the king of terrors. That's why I said, in prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him, man. In prosperity, man. The scripture saying the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, man. Straits is what? Difficulty, hardship, man. All right, contemplating on, damn, shall we go through this? Because, like I said one time in one of my old videos, through the spirit power of YAHAWASHI, put the spirit on me to do that lesson. All right, the so-called white man Esau Edom is going to do heavy enchantment. All right, and his enchanters, and his witches and his sorcerers and his warlocks is going to, and the wizards is going to fail him in this time. All right, because he's going to find out that he was actually being made up. All right, to fulfill prophecy, man. All right, you're not going to upset prophecy. You're going to fulfill it. Scripture say they were scared in this fight, man. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, man. And the scripture say the heart is deceitful above all things. All right, so the Most High ain't to be calm reminded us death. So the Lord put a spirit on you to actually think that you were going to overcome a power, that a force, a realm that you cannot see, man. A realm you cannot live in, but that realm can visit you and dwell among you, but you can't live amongst that realm. You can't reach that level, man. All right? So the Lord is getting ready to humble the proud. That's why they enter into the clefts of the rocks. All right? A dreadful sound is in his ear, man. The time is coming to an end of him oppressing the earth. All right? And he know that, man. He's not going to be able to spread his chemtrail. Here it is under the elements right now because of just walking outside and breathing in chemtrails and shit, man. You know? His time of feeding our people genetically modified organisms, all right, and killing us and destroying us day by day, his time is coming to an end. All right? Okay. And it was all predestined for YAHAWASHI to be this way, man. All right? To set him up last. All right? Because the wicked, the Lord hath created all things for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil. All right? Job chapter 15, verse 22. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he has waited for the sword. Okay? So the scripture say, he believeth not that he shall return out of darkness. So the so-called white man Esau Edom does not, he don't believe that he is not going to leave. He don't believe he can be removed out of his power seat. That's the pride of this man. All right? So-called white man Esau Edom, he feel comfortable. And the scripture say his thoughts is that his houses shall continue forever. All right, the so-called white man don't see the Heavenly Father taking him out of power, man. The so-called white man Esau Edom does not see the Heavenly Father making the second exodus for the children of Israel, man. The so-called white man Esau Edom feels that he is the Most High, man. All right, and this is the heart of the devil that the Bible speaks of. And guess what? Since he can't touch the Most High, he's going to touch the apple of his eye, man. All right, speaking to the elect of Israel. All right, speaking of the elect of Israel, because 2/3 of our people have already been consumed and have been consumed and were written about to be consumed, man. All right, but for the elect, their faith is on trial. That's why I say knowing the trial of your faith being more precious than fine gold. But at the end of the day, the elect is going to overcome that, man. And Esau is afraid because he win the battle when it comes physically. All right, physically he's winning, but spiritually this man is losing. This man is losing, man. You know, here it is. He done did everything to hide this truth and this power source from us. And YAHAWASHI revealed it unto us, man, and gave us the tunnel, or gave us the light in this in the valley of the shadow of darkness. You see that? YAHAWASHI revealed his light unto us in the valley of the shadow of darkness. So what? But Esau Edom, what it say? He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited of for the sword. So the so-called white man is being waited for the sword. What's that sword? Okay, let's get that real quick. In Job, I think 20. Oh yeah, that's the spirit. Because it said he is waiting of the sword, right? So there it is. This is Job chapter 20, verse 24. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Damn. So what is that talking about, man? That's talking about the iron weapon being the thermonuclear missiles when you read in Isaiah 54 chapter, man. All right? Or when you read in Isaiah the 13th chapter, okay, in Isaiah the 34th chapter, that sword that shall be bathed in heaven, the scripture say, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. And what did it say? It said, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So that's him being weighted of the sword. This is why we have thermonuclear missiles, hypersonic missiles, Poseidon missiles being undetected and cannot be stopped, man. Why? Because the scriptures tell us in the book of Revelations, I think the 9th chapter, I'm not mistaken, all right, that fire issued out of their mouth, all right, okay, and these are the scriptures say, and none of them shall break their ranks, I think in the book of Joel, all right. The Lord said he gathered the hosts, all right, he mustered the hosts, all right, he mustered the host to the battle, all right. There shall he sit and judge all the nations round about in the valley of YAHAWASHI, man. All right, Yahweh's judgment. Okay, and this is what's going on. He has to go to war. All right, he has to fight. All right, and guess what? He's losing that fight already, man. Because what? His pride has deceived him. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close out on this through the spirit. This is Job chapter 20, verse 25. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Damn, what is that talking about? It is drawn and cometh out of the body. That's the spirit, because when you play Call of Duty, Black Ops 4 or whatnot, you know, the Nuketown, when you at the end of that game, all right, it shows the main stage in Nuketown right there in the middle. Right? It'll show the bottom, breaking up. opening up like that, both sides opening out. And then it's a missile underground in a silo, man, and it's being launched off. All right, and that's how, hey, it's a spirit. It's called Newtown, man. You know, so it shows out of the silo coming a missile. It's coming out of that silo, man. All right, that's it being drawn. Hey, that's it being drawn. It says what? It says it is drawn and cometh out of the body. You see, so it's coming out of the body, man. Hey, and that's ultimately being when it goes into the heavens, and then it starts to break off, and then you just have the warheads, man. All right, and the spirit of YAHAWASHI is going to be on these missiles to hit their designated targets, man. All right, and it's going to be a nasty fire, man. All right, you know, our words cannot express how nasty and how horrific that judgment and that consuming fire is going to be, which is the plague. This is the plague, you know, in the book of Zechariah, tell you that. All right, where it says, "Thy eyes shall be consumed away in thy holes," you know, while thou standest upon thy feet. The Lord is going to leave your spirit in your body and actually feel your physical heart melting in its chest, your intestines melting, all right, your vagina, your penis just being consumed with the Lord, man. The Lord bad, man. You people are not understanding the true fear of YAHAWASHI. But it's beautiful because only the elect is going to fear the Lord. You know, majority of the people have to die. Scripture said the world was made for many, the world comes for few. All right, Job chapter 20, verse 25. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, hold on, here it is again. The glistering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. So there it is again. And that's just the spirit, the glittering sword. Did not Scripture say in Job 15 that he is waited for of the sword? Okay, the glittering sword is what? That missile, man. All right, which is going to destroy America, which is Babylon the Great, as it is written. Thus said the Scriptures, man. That's the only arrow that can be shot from one continent to another continent, man. All right, you have ICBMs, you have MRBMs, man. Okay, medium range ballistic missiles. All right, which Russia just backed out of the INF because Europe, all right, because America was going to deploy missiles to Europe, and Europe is basically next door to Russia, man. All right. So Russia backed out of the INF because they already had MRBMs, man. They just had to keep it on the hush and keep it on the low, all right, because they advanced technology was already there. But see, Esau, Edom, all right, the so-called Esau, Edom, all right, you so-called Americans, so-called elites, they had to put a treaty in place so that Russia don't have these missiles aimed at Europe and aimed at all these little countries that's beneath it, man. Which I don't give a damn about Russia, none of you damn Edomites, man. But we know that through prophecy, the Lord said that he shall raise up the great bear and raise up the spirit of the Medes, man. All right, and it's ultimately to fulfill prophecy because Daniel 7:18 said the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. All right, verse 26, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. Damn, a fire not blown shall consume him, man. So hey, Esau is through, bro. The scripture says his judgment has reached the heavens. And we innocent, bro. We ain't doing nothing wrong, man. All we doing is prophesying and warning you people and telling you people the truth. We ain't doing nothing wrong. The scripture say that in the book of Psalms, man. Blessed is the man whom the Most High have not imputed iniquity, whose sins are forgiven, man. All right? We ain't doing nothing wrong. We just telling you the judgment and things that's going to come here on the planet Earth, man. Because we understand, we can see it through the spirit that the Lord is getting ready to jack your shit up, man. All right? And ain't nothing we can do to save you. All right? Ain't nothing we can do to save ourselves. But we have faith that the Lord is going to be with us. And that's the attributes of the elect. Those are characteristics of the elect. Scripture say, put ye on the elect. Meekness, humble, sincere, you know, roughly to speak. All right. It says, it shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. Damn, that's heavy, man. Scriptures say, heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. So this is why everybody's coming up against this man, man. All right, all nations is man. The scripture say the nations are drunken and are mad. Scripture say the beast shall hate the whore. All right, scripture say these nations shall flee into their own lands. All right, all these nations are hating, right, and realizing, coming to the realization that the so-called Esau Edom, he is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And not only did he deceive them, but he deceived the whole world, man. And that's the power of the Lord. Because the scriptures say in the book of Job 12:10, the deceived and the deceiver are his, man. The Lord said he kill and he make alive, man. The Lord create good and evil. All right, so this is the movie of YAHAWASHI. All right, now he's getting ready to, because wickedness is sown up. So now YAHAWASHI is getting ready to allow righteousness to flourish on the planet Earth. And that's going to start in the way of his judgment. Because the scriptures tell you in the book of Lamentations, let thy judgments flow as waters, roughly to say, man. Righteous judgment, you know, that's going to be the first, you know, because all we waiting on is that spiritual intervention from YAHAWASHI, and that's coming, man. You know, at the intervention of YAHAWASHI intervening, all right, that's going to be that righteous judgment, all right, and after that righteous judgment is the glorification of Yahawashi, right, being revealed from heaven, all right, in the men of the Lord, all right, being right in the midst of them, man, joint heirs with them, man, all right, and that's going to ultimately be physical, man, all right, it's ultimately going to be physical, but right now, the Lord is building up everything so that America can be destroyed. The Lord is putting every piece together, all right, so the great Babylon the Great can be greatly destroyed, man, all right, so Lord's will, you know, this was edified to the elect, to the house of David, the Yahshua Damadam. All right, and through the spirit of power, Yahawashi, all right, call Halolim, or Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Chakadash, and Kawadi Yahawashi for the spirit of truth. All right, as always, double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, over the wall, and talking this truth through the spirit, Bakatham. Salutations to the Zaquanian, Wa'akim, the coast focals of the earth, that's teaching this truth and sincerity, faith, and honesty. All right, Shalom, Abadam, Abakarim, Shalom, which is peace and love to the Lord's elect of Israel. All right, Shalom.